I
Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, rock and roll Matty Goldberg. Guys, we had the Super Bowl.
What up, fellas?
Super
just
Bowl
want to say
game.
I'm a better air drummer than Jim could ever be.
Well,
I was
Matty, you were
watching
a
your
real
moves.
drummer in a previous life.
Yeah, Jim, you're good, but not as good as me. Just saying. No
Matty-
hard.
How does that make you feel, Jim?
We can be equals.
No,
No.
I'm better than you. It's all good.
What makes you think that?
I just saw your moves. You missed the.
I'm
fill.
a bad air drummer. I know that, but I was also
you-
going for the guitar.
Are you playing the bass drum? No.
I could be.
Wait, so you're just trying to play all the instruments?
Yeah, I'm like one of those one-man bands.
With the whole banjo and everything.
Exactly.
Like Spike Jones from the turn of the century guy, 1920s or whatever the fuck.
Exactly.
Sometimes
Sometimes I just try and do too much.
So what's up, boys?
Oh.
You guys enjoy the something that happened on Sunday.
Matty nailed it. The Super Bowl always less exciting than like a regular season weekend.
Yeah, but I also nailed that the Eagles will win.
Did you,
And they
did
did
you
what
think it was going to be a blowout?
I mean, no, I'm not going to say that, but I did think they had the edge. I thought Kansas City was kind of coming in tired. I think it's hard to three-peat, obviously. It's like you can't really slip up. And Philly was just coming in like as the better team. Like they were coming in, their playoff wins were more decisive. And they had the perfect strategy. They were able to blitzkrieg Patrick Mahomes with four guys and kind of box him in. And I think Kansas City defensive coordinator was like, we're going to stop Barkley and let Hurts beat us. And guess what? Hurts beat the shit out of you. He's a guy that needs to be reckoned with,
Damn right he is.
I mean, I think the Belichick school was always like, take away the offense's best player or like make them beat them like without their best player. And Kansas City did, but they didn't, Hurts is the real deal. So that's what I saw.
I kind of like basically after the third drive or third possession of the game, I'm like, this is going to be a blowout. It's not even going to be. And, I don't want to. I try not to be reactionary when I'm watching things, but you could just see it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a vibe thing. I'm like, Philly's moving the ball easily.
Mhm.
Like in that comeback with the Patriots, it was there. People were just dropping passes and shit. Like you could see people being open and stuff like this. Kansas City's receivers couldn't get open for anything. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah, it was
mean,
like their receivers couldn't get it open. The offensive line was like getting
Yeah.
blown the hell up, and Pat Mahomes was holding on to the ball way too long.
Well, and then Mahomes, like once they got down, he could feel it too, and then he started to play hero ball, and then it was way over at that point. Once
he doesn't have the offensive skill weapons to play hero
I
ball.
will say this: Brady ain't winning that game for the Chiefs.
No.
The Eagles were by far the best team. Their defense really stepped up and played a masterful game where they just dominated. And you can't beat the Chiefs with a one-score game. You gotta beat them up. You gotta just stomp on them and not give them any life. And I think the Eagles knew that. And 2 years losing by 3 points. There was a touchdown where Hurts fumbled the ball on a crazy play. So it's like they're like, hey, we gave up a fluke touchdown. We could have won that game. So why not this year? And they were better because they got Barkley. And Barkley didn't have a great game. And that's because the defense was so keyed on him. They forgot to do anything else. I mean, they left these guys one-on-one and Hurts killed them. So that's that. The Chiefs are, I mean, they'll be back. I don't know if Kelsey will be back, but they're still.
Why do you think Kelsey will be back?
They also had no chemistry with their wide receivers, really, except for Worthy.
Well, and he's a rookie, so like at least he'll get better. At least he's looked good this latter part of the season.
I mean, they'll give her,
Like I just look at the Chiefs. Matty kind of nailed it on the head where they're exhausted. Look at all the one-score games they were in.
Yeah, it takes its toll, and then it's like the journey to win one Super Bowl. That's why you see so many teams after they win one the next year, they don't have a lot. Like, it's hard to keep it going, and to do it three times in a row is it's impossible pretty much. I mean,
Never
it's
been
almost
done.
like going undefeated. I mean, you're gonna slip up, and I don't know, the Chiefs have nothing. I mean, they were embarrassed, but at the same time, you can't take, like, everybody's like, they're no dynasty. It's like, yeah, they are a fucking dynasty. They won 3 out of 4 championships. That's a dynasty.
Does
You
this
can't
still
you
hurt Mahomes' legacy though?
I mean, against Brady, maybe, but no. I mean, he's still a legend and he's playing.
Yeah, like he still has plenty of time. I mean, obviously it hurts,
Yeah.
but like he's still very young. He still has plenty of time to like remove this. And people are going to say like, oh, the Chiefs are done. Chiefs are done. Well, they're going to be like, he's been there how long? They've never not made it to the AFC Championship game.
He's been there.
Like
He
he's
didn't
going to have
start his first
opportunities.
season. He didn't start his first season. So since 2019, they've made the AFC Championship game, and they've been in their 5 out of 6 Super Bowls. That's insane.
Exactly.
I mean, everybody, it's like the reaction is like, and look, I was rooting hard against the Chiefs, but I can't take away their greatness, and what they've done is insane. And many teams would sign up for this beyond.
Do you feel squared with the Chiefs now? Are you okay with the Chiefs now?
Yeah, I'm okay with T Swift too. She
She
got her
got
shit.
booed. She got booed.
She got booed. She realized, like, people are tired of her, but it's like, you gotta just take it in stride. This is what you asked for.
She kind of
It's
took it
like
like a champ too.
it's like, you know why I'm not on social media a lot? It's because I'm a sensitive guy. I'm a really, I'm a romantic, sensitive guy, and I don't like people insulting me. So when you go out there, you are, you are up there for people to love or hate you. And no matter who you are, you're going to be loved and hated. So you get an Eagles crowd, you get people that are tired of the Chiefs. You don't get a lot of Swifties there. It's a perfect chance to boo. And it's just like, that's what it's like being a celebrity or being anybody who's in, loved or hated.
Are you okay with T Swift now?
Sure. Yeah, I guess so. I think that I was more last year. Last year they really poured it on
It
us.
did feel like they kind of cut back on it this
They
year.
did cut back, and you know what? I'm sure they asked to cut back too. I wouldn't be surprised if Travis and her were like, "Hey, can we cut back?" Because, like, she just wants to enjoy the games. Like
I think by the time they showed her, it was already like over. Like
they showed her once.
Well, it was
yeah,
over. It fell over like in the first quarter.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was.
The one
It
thing
was
is when it was 27-0, I was a little nervous because I was like, a big Brady guy, and I'm like, this is like crazy because
You thought it would be like the comeback, like
yeah,
Pat Mahomes
they'll
version.
go. Brady's was 25, but Mahomes was 27.
oh yeah. No, I could. It was. They're very different games. Again, like in that Patriots one, you could just see just miscues. Like the opportunities were there in the first
Yeah,
half. They just didn't capitalize
but
on them.
Brady was getting pounded.
Yeah, but you could still see where.
There were plays,
Yeah, but there were plays to be had.
and Atlanta made plays to lose. Like you're watching, I'm like thinking, like, how can the Chiefs come back when it was 27-0? And I'm like, well, the Eagles need to help. Like, the Eagles
Yeah.
need to do some dumb shit. And the Falcons, like the fumbles, the big fumble sack, like the Falcons certainly helped the Patriots. And the Eagles, they just kept putting the foot on the gas until, 2 meaningless touchdowns. I hit a lot of bets. I was very happy. I missed a giant parlay by 1 touchdown.
I missed my Jahan Dotson first touchdown pick.
Dude, by this
I
much,
know that one killed me,
you
Matty.
probably got a boner.
70-1, 70-1, and I
When they
was like
did the
going nuts.
replay, oh my God.
I was so upset. I was so
Because
upset.
literally, like, if there's no instant replay, that's a touchdown.
I did get Tom Brady's tie being black correct. That was
Yeah.
nice.
They say
Almost
that's
got the anthem over. That was a little controversial.
Yeah, I don't know how to really judge that, but I was happy. The halftime show was whatever, not really my cup of
I
tea.
thought it was pretty good.
Well,
I'm
Jim,
not.
this is from your
No,
generation. Are
like
you a
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar
I
fan?
do like Kendrick Lamar. I like him quite a bit. I don't. So like I think it was a really cool show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was an all right halftime show. Like
Well, I think
it was
yeah.
fine. It was like I think last year's was better. I think the one in LA is still of recent memory. I think that's probably one of the better ones.
Look, I don't know much about like the hip hop world, but I will say that I think Kendrick Lamar told him like, if I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be my way and less flashy, like
Mm-hmm.
less people coming in to like remember when Coldplay did it and they had to bring in somebody to go with them because they didn't really move the needle enough, I guess. I
That's
don't know.
Coldplay too, though.
Yeah.
What about like it just cuts to Serena Williams like doing a crip walk at
That's
some
because she used to date Drake back in the day, and apparently, like he said a lot of like super. That's like the layers part of it.
Right. It was
Yeah.
so meta. That's why I love people
Yeah,
like
like
it's
I
meta.
didn't
I'm
I
like,
don't
that's
really
not
I
really
didn't
that.
really
I
get
mean,
into that. I
I
was
understand.
No,
outside.
like
But
that's
it's
that's
still
what
like bizarro. It's still
that's
like
what I'm saying. It's like it was a good show. I don't. It was
yeah.
an all right at best to me halftime show.
See, like I didn't get into the whole like, oh my God, this was a hidden message because that's everybody saying. I'm like, I don't really care, like
Well, that's
whatever.
like a rap world thing, you know. Matter you're a
Yeah.
rocker, they don't really do that in the rock
They have
world.
beefs. There's not a lot of beefs in rock. Like
I
Ace,
Yeah.
I do think it'd
there
be cool if
used
they
to
get like
be.
a rock group in there. I just don't know who they would
There
do.
used to be like the
There's no
time that
rock
fucking
bands anymore.
No, you'd have to go like classic again.
And
Vince
they've
Neil
all those
punched
people are dead.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I
Vince
don't know.
Neil punched
Vince
Izzy Stradlin at the MTV Awards years ago. Like that's rock and
Vince
roll.
Neil
Like, he
versus the
just
singer
knocked him
of
the fuck
Hanoi
out.
Rocks.
Because
Yeah.
like as much as I love hip hop, it has been hip hop what 3 years in a row now, 4 years in a row.
Well, the thing is, like, they won't do rock, and the reason why is because they want to bring in an audience that is not a football audience. So if you can get like Lady Gaga, you can get Kendrick Lamar, you can get Beyonce or whatever. These are people that like you get T Swift. These are people who watch who don't watch football. So like, why get somebody that people are gonna watch? Like most football fans like Metallica. Most football fans like AC/DC. Most football fans like
Did
uh
Metallica do a halftime show?
no, they never have.
That's about maybe the only band
Yeah,
I
that would
think
be
that
And they
about
like.
it.
should. They should give it back. Give it 1 year to rock. Just
Well, I'm
let
Well,
just
it.
saying,
because
I was
they're going
saying,
to run
Maddie, like
out at some
what?
point. There's
Yeah,
going to be
like
zero relevant rock bands at some point.
what they did Red
You
Hot
know,
Chili
do it.
Peppers
Limp
one
Bizkit.
year.
Yeah.
I'm for Limp Bizkit
Yeah.
or
Do they have?
Creed.
I mean, Creed did the Thanksgiving one in Dallas.
Well, that's the funny thing. Everybody's doing a meme where they're showing it where he's singing higher, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like Kendrick Lamar could never capture this. It's pretty funny.
like I'm kind of drawing a blanket. Like, what actual modern? There's no modern day one.
There's
The
none. I don't.
Killers would be good. I think
I
the Killers
still
would be
like.
Yeah,
I
but
fun.
if the
don't even
Killers
know.
did it, they'd be
Like,
waiting for like just Mr. Brightside the
yeah.
whole
Like
time.
again, I would measure
Yeah,
these
but
things
not
by
like
the.
us is the same thing.
Nah, but like at least for I mean, my generation,
No, that
he
was
did.
like this year's biggest song. It won a Grammy for this year. You know, like if you're talking relevance, like
Yeah.
you have to go back to a band's latest hit. Like or last hit.
I say Limp Bizkit next year. Give Fred Durst his due.
I'd be about it. Beastie Boys would be awesome.
Well, there's only two of them.
And then
I
what?
know.
Like Jonathan Davis from Korn comes out at some point.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
He get his bagpipes out.
Yeah. Oh, that would be.
But
Imagine
yeah,
that
the
the lights
game.
go off and then that shoots and ladders starts with the
Mhm.
bagpipes.
Can we just go over to France and get Gojira?
Chills.
Go get Gojira from France.
Or
Who?
get Pantera.
It's like a speed metal band over in France. Pantera, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Dragon Force. Dragon Force.
I'd be about it. I'd go for a Dragon Force show.
What's Dragon
Or
Force?
Manowar. How about Manowar?
Yeah.
Man of
Jim, you don't know
war living
Manowar, do
on
I
the
do
you?
a little bit.
road.
I do a little. Hey, for you guys, just a sports hole only halftime show. Just get Ween to do it.
That'd be amazing.
That's it. Matt was talking about that before you jumped
But
on
that's the
into the.
thing. Like, if they did it, 90% of the people go, "What the hell is this
Yeah.
crap?"
What if
So,
they just
like,
played
when you
their
have,
poppiest songs? I
yeah,
think people would be like, "Oh my god, this band is who is this? This is great."
yeah, nobody's gonna make anybody happy with a choice. Any,
They should dig someone from their grave. Just get like AC/DC out there. Just dig those boys up.
Maddie or Jim, what about the people you were watching? It was like your dad and some other folks.
So what ended up happening is I went there for the like an hour or so before the game. Had some bacon wrapped goose,
ooh,
delicious.
What?
bacon
Yeah,
Mm.
wrap.
someone had just gone goose hunting, so we had some bacon wrapped goose, amazing. And then we're watching the pregame. During like at the start of the game, they all go to the bar. I'm stuck at the shop by myself, so I watched it by myself. They went to some bar like 2 towns over to go watch it, and I'm just stuck here in the shop by myself. Smoked a half a pack of cigarettes while I was watching the game, and
I
That's
just kind
watch
of vibed
sports
it
by
out. It was
myself.
great. It was
kind of.
Like,
actually it was awesome.
yeah, yeah, I
Well, I want to
watch it
get the
by myself.
feedback on what these other Midwesterners felt about the. Well, it's just funny. Like you jump on Facebook, uh, and it's just like I didn't like the halftime show,
Yeah,
and
no, it
by
was
the
either
end of it, it's some sort of like racially, politically charged. I'm like, what is going on here?
the vibes on Twitter was it was either the best. It's the same thing every year. It
Yeah,
feels like
the
everyone's
Yeah.
just
best
like
and the
it's
worst.
the best halftime show ever, and it's the worst halftime
Yeah, they're
show
like, if
ever.
you didn't get it, you didn't get it. And I'm like, well, I was kind of like looking at halftime bets. I was eating, I was talking to people that were outside.
Well, clearly
So
you didn't
like,
get it.
whatever. Like, sorry, I didn't either. I'm indifferent. Like, is it okay to be indifferent?
Like
I'm
I thought it was
indifferent to
pretty
every
good.
year.
I thought it was pretty good.
Like I didn't hate it. Like I
I
was just
love my
watching
I
it,
will say
yeah.
this. I
knowing.
will say this. My biggest complaint. It did feel. I don't know about you guys, but it felt like me viewing it from my TV. It felt like a little quiet. Like it felt like the
I don't
audio.
I don't know his I didn't know that, but a lot of people were complaining about the audio.
Like it did
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like that was my big complaint. Was that like the production, everything was kind of cool. The songs, I obviously like. I loved a lot of the songs. It
Uh-huh.
did feel a little quiet.
I want to say a guy who did do well. I know this is gonna be controversial, but
The weekend.
no, Tom Brady. I felt like it was gonna be a bloodbath on social media, and he didn't really get much love. He didn't get much hate, and that's a win for him.
I think he puts up his best performances against Mahomes.
That is it,
Ooh,
and you know
wow.
he was
That was the takes I was seeing. Matty is
I
now
like it.
Tom Brady is 3-0 against Patrick
well,
Mahomes
you
in
know he
the
was happy as
postseason.
hell. Like
Oh, you
there's
know he was.
yeah, because now everybody's like, don't even compare the two. And I will say this: the funniest thing about it is, being a big Brady guy and seeing like the shit he talked, that he's soft, that the refs, give
Yeah.
him like ticky tack fouls, that this, that. As soon as Mahomes started like ascending, all these people are like, I miss Brady. Brady,
Dude, those are the takes I've been seeing. It's like, oh man, at least when the
yeah.
Patriots were dominating, it was
Dude,
like
you guys were
no one
killing
hated
them.
them. I was like, wait a second, these people just didn't follow football back then?
No, they're the same people that were destroying them. They forget they were destroying the Patriots. So I'm not going to destroy the Chiefs. I have, and I feel bad about it because it's probably not fair to their greatness.
Well, no one wants to see the dominant team win. People
No,
love like I love the parody.
They
I
do.
want to
That's
see
why
other teams
ratings
win.
go up in American sports when there is an evil empire.
Yeah,
That's
they
it.
want to see it fall.
They love the Bulls when they love to hate them. Like either the same with the Lakers when they were
Mm-hmm.
with Shaq, Kobe, all that fun stuff. Um, they just love dominance and they love to either love it or hate it. And so the Chiefs will be back though. They might have to do a lot of retooling and hopefully Philadelphia though their organization is number one as far as I'm concerned. Like
Hands down.
they get these draft picks that people you know look over Devonta Smith. You
Which
know,
I don't know if
Jalen
this is.
Carter, everybody thought because he was in that dumb racing accident.
Yeah.
They got him for pennies on the dollar.
Yes.
Cooper DeJean, people like that end up making plays,
Well,
I don't know if this is a true stat, but I've seen people say that Devontae Smith was the first Alabama player to like score a touchdown in a Super Bowl,
that can't be
like
right.
receiving or rushing.
That can't be right. No way. Of all the guys,
What's funny though is yeah, there was some stat like between there was like 20 something people between Clemson and Alabama taken one year in a draft, and none of them made a Pro Bowl. Like, so I don't know. For some reason, that might be. I mean, didn't
58-year Alabama Super Bowl touchdown curse.
Joe
wild.
Namath? Does
Julio,
I don't
Julio
know because
Jones.
rushing or receiving, passing doesn't count. I don't think
okay.
Julio scored in that game.
No, I don't think he did either. You're right. I'm trying to think of guys. That's wild.
Wowie.
Kenny the Snake Stabler.
So the argument would be Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl prior, but he ended his career at Oklahoma, so
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't
does
count
not
as an
count.
That
yeah.
counts. Get the
No.
fuck out of here. He was at Alabama. That
They
doesn't.
don't.
That counts.
No, that doesn't
He
count.
broke it.
No,
That's stupid.
that does not count. Because then you're counting for two schools.
He's the real deal, by the way. A lot of people were like, he's not that good. He's this. He's the real deal. They were. I mean, I really believe the Chiefs were like, make Hurts beat us, and he fucking did. So
Well, that team is loaded. It's
they
pick
are
your poison,
loaded, but they
and
really
Yeah.
tried
he
to
was good
stop Hurts.
enough to win, going downfield.
No Alabama player in 58 years.
That's nutty. So Jalen Hurts won the MVP. It felt weird to me because I'm like, they should just give it to the whole Eagles defense.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know how you don't give it to the whole either that or give it to Howie Roseman.
Yeah,
give it to Howie. Jesus.
I'll tell you this: it's always the like. I put a big bet on Devin White 4 years ago when the Bucks won. He was like 50-1, and he had an interception. He's like the main guy in the Bucks D. So Josh Sweat could have won it for the Eagles. He had 2.5 sacks, but it usually is the quarterback because the quarterback controls the game. And Hurts did, except for one bad interception. I mean, he played it incredible, and
Do
it's
you
usually
think
the
like
quarterback's the leader.
advertising has any impact on who they pick too? Like they would prefer a face, a known commodity.
It's just hard.
Maybe.
It's like, how many Heisman defensive winners are there? One, Charles Woodson. So usually the MVP goes to an offensive player.
Oh, speaking of this, Devontae Smith is now only one of 4 players to win a Heisman, Natty, and Super Bowl. I think there's only like 4 players that have done that.
That's pretty impressive.
Charles Woodson.
Yes.
Charles Woodson.
Do you know the other ones?
Kenny Stabler?
No. So there's Devontae Smith became the 5. There's 4 other ones.
Charles Woodson.
Luke said Charles Woodson. There's a USC player in there.
Tom Brady.
No.
Reggie Bush.
Did not win a Heisman.
Reggie Bush.
Or a Natty. Yes, Reggie Bush. He was on that Saints team.
Yes.
I can just give you the other ones.
Give me a year, or give me a.
You want a school?
Yeah, I want a hint.
Okay, let me give you a hint.
Nothing too.
I'll give you a hint for one of them right now.
There's 2 more.
There's 2 more.
Okay.
The college again, USC, drafted in 1982.
Marcus Allen.
Yes.
Oh, good one.
One more.
From USC?
No. This one is from Pittsburgh, drafted in 77.
Pittsburgh drafted in 70. Tony Dorsett.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Maddie. So it's Devontae Smith now joins Charles Woodson, Reggie Bush, Marcus Allen, and Tony Dorsett.
Maddie, you're an NFL historian. Was this one of the most dominant postseason runs? I mean, they blew.
No, because the 80s and the 90s were all about that. So it felt like a year in the 80s and the 90s when like the Cowboys were dominant, Washington was dominant. Like Super Bowls were always blowouts. So
I mean, like the whole playoffs.
It kind of was a throwback. it was kind of a throwback season to like what it used to be.
Mm.
Thank God the Super Bowls are all really close. But years ago when I was younger, they were just absolute
No,
blowouts.
I
You
mean
could
my
look
first
at it.
memory was the Bears
Yeah,
trouncing
so if you
the.
go 82, 83, the Raiders killed Washington. 84, 49ers killed Miami. 85, Bears killed 49ers. 86, Giants killed Denver. Washington killed Denver. Then you had a close Super Bowl. Then the 49ers killed everybody.
All right,
So
all right,
um
uh,
they were
So we've
pretty
been
bad.
spoiled.
all
We've been
right,
spoiled.
all right.
So but the Eagles were a very dominant team and they're gonna make a nice run to repeat next
You
year.
think they're gonna miss Kellen Moore?
Yeah.
I think so.
You
Kellen
see
Moore to
what
the
you see what
Saints.
coordinators do. Last year they had bad coordinators, they stunk, they fixed it, and they were great this year. So but why take that job? It's the worst job to take,
Well, you gotta be a head coach at some point.
I guess, but
No, it's pretty terrible.
it's a tough place. Like you're behind the eight ball where you can wait another year and get a better job with more resources.
Well, I don't know. I guess you want to ascend.
Just saying.
Josh Allen won the MVP this week. Does anybody give a shit?
No, I'm not into that shit. I
I
don't
don't
care.
understand it. This is an ultimate team sport here, football.
Yeah. Cam Newton says the MVP is more important than a ring, but he's crazy.
Bro, it's because he's
So
got
I
one
don't.
and
I
not the
never
other.
watched the awards show. Like it's cool and all for a second. Like oh, he won the MVP. That's cool, but no.
I'll pay attention if I bet on it.
I mean, like, unless you're like a sports geek, you're not even going to remember that in 4 or 5 years, especially if he never wins a championship.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I don't know. It was I saw obviously Twitter. You see everything all the time. It was an argument between him and Lamar Jackson was like the Heisman argument between Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter. It was annoying. Like they both probably deserved it. I don't really care who wins it.
right. I think Heisman feels like it means a little bit more
Heisman does mean more, but it was
Yeah.
like a similar vibe.
Right, right. We had a NFL Hall of Fame class. Maddie, what are you thinking about this class here?
The one controversial one is Eli Manning didn't get picked.
Well, it's only
But-
his first time.
Yeah, I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
You
I
know
thought
what?
Luke Kuechly was controversial.
I like Sterling Sharp. Like Sterling Sharp
Yeah,
would
it's
have
been a
been
long time coming. I had no
all-time
idea he
Hall
wasn't
of
even
Famer, but
in.
he got hurt.
Yeah.
So like he was as elite as you could be for the years he played. It's just a terrible injury, and I always felt like he deserved to make it. I even remember when Shannon Sharp was MVP or he made the Hall of Fame. He said, "I can't even tell you I'm the best player in my family," and he's right. I mean, Shannon Sharp deserves it. So, and I like Jared Allen. Jared Allen was a very good sack guy.
Yeah. Antonio Gates.
Awesome player.
I once had like a 20-minute conversation with him without realizing it was him.
Mm-hmm.
Really, he was checking into one of the hotels I worked at, and it was talking about for some reason it came up. He was from Detroit. We started talking about that. We started talking about high school football, and he went to like Catholic Central, which was a big football school there. I go, "Oh, did you play ball?" He's like, "Yeah, you know." And then we like went on and talked about old. Talked
Yeah,
about
he was a
Detroit.
basketball guy in college too. I think at Kent State, and then they were trying out tall guys to play in the NFL, and him and Jimmy Graham are success
Well,
stories.
Saban had recruited him at Michigan State, but he wanted to play basketball too. So he's like, "Nah, I got to play basketball too." So I don't know. He was a friggin' beast, though.
The controversy I saw was having Luke Kuechly not make it.
Oh, really?
I like Luke Kuechly. He deserved it.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
you got to remember that too. Just
the
because you're not
NFL is
first
such a-
ballot doesn't mean you're not.
Dude, the NFL.
No, but they
is
showed
such
it and it was like very extremely similar stats. I think Brian Urlacher was first ballot,
Oh, really?
and it's like almost identical stats for
The
Luke
thing is,
Kuechly.
the NFL is so violent, and some of these guys, for their own safety, have to retire probably before they should, or like at a younger age. So like Kuechly probably retired at 30, But like, are you gonna punish the guy because he had 100 concussions?
I know, right? Take enough punishment as it
So it's
is.
like he put 8 hard years in the NFL. He plays anymore. He's not gonna have a brain left. So like, are you gonna some of these guys deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, even if their career got cut short of injuries. And I believe they do. So I like it. No like giant name this year, but they're all coming up.
Um, let's see here. What else? So now we're into the off season. So this
Mm-hmm.
is when the real magic and hope starts for a lot of fans
Yeah.
here. 49ers, however, Debo wants out. He's done with that. He's kind of
Yeah,
declining
diva
anyways.
receivers. He's not the greatest wide receiver running routes. His best skill was running the ball. So, and they feel he's lost a step. Like you move on. I mean, it's like, okay, fine, get your deal. But if you sign him, like somebody's gonna overpay him, and it's a huge mistake.
If you can get him off your contract at this point, they kind of need to restructure a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, they need to retool. They did not have a good year at all. Um, so, by the way, teams can start trading in March 12th for that.
nice.
Um,
And that's when the spring league starts, right?
28.
How pumped are you?
Maddie, there were some commercials during the Super Bowl. I got a chub each one.
Well, don't you think they should have started this weekend? Are you
So I'm of the mind, yeah. So XFL in 2020 and 2023, I love that it started right after the Super Bowl.
because we all want football. We're
I
all on the
understand though, because like they want to like make sure that players might not be making rosters. They want to have like an extended training camp. I get it.
And why are
I'm
they
okay
going
with it
at March Madness? Like they're going right into the teeth of March Madness.
at the end of it, but like they did it last year too, and it was fine.
Okay.
It didn't affect like ratings or anything.
Okay.
So I'm okay with it. I'm of the mind that it would be nice to start right after.
Mhm.
Arena football one, the Arena League does start March 8th. So start of March, you get Arena
You
Ball.
think Patrick Mahomes is gonna go down to arena football after this performance?
I mean, he'd kill it.
that would be really fun
You
place
know
for
what's
him to
shitty though?
go.
Like I like Pat Mahomes, but they try to like the internet is so shitty. There's a video, and it's like, look at him leave the field, like, and it's like everybody knows he shook Hurts' hand. Everybody knows he shook a couple of guys' hands, and he's sad because he lost and he left the field, but it's not good enough for people. Like, what is wrong with the internet?
Are you
He was supposed
new?
to
Are you
sit
new
there
around
and
here,
do
Maddie? What's going on?
snowflakes in the confetti and snow
Yes.
angels.
Yes.
That would make you happy.
He's supposed to. I love Pat Mahomes, man. You're not gonna hear that from me. But they
Like, I'm
want
not a fan of his wife.
no.
And by the way,
If he wants to be a goat like Brady, he should divorce that
by the way,
bitch.
it is in life sometimes it's like you go after weak people. So Buffalo fans are like they're lovable losers who jump off tables and donate to the other team. Um, they
I forgot you
burned
came after
Kermit the Frog in Philadelphia on the streets, like burned him. She
Mm-hmm.
said nothing. Like you're gonna go after Buffalo, go after Philly fans too, but she won't. She
No.
knows those people are
You
scary, and they
ugly
are.
cunt. Fucking ugly cunt.
Seeing what they were doing to that city was insane.
No one does it like Philly.
It's like art of some
Beautiful.
sort.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys might remember this Tyreek Hill getting sued by a plus-sized OnlyFans model.
I do remember this. This was one of my favorite stories of the year last year.
Yeah. So the model said it was revealed that uh, she got a leg injury from playing backyard football with him, and then
Hey,
she
he goes hard. He goes hard. What can I say?
and he nailed her afterwards too. Yeah, they
I
got
saw
busy.
that.
They got busy a few times after that, after he had fractured her right leg with a crushing force during a backyard football.
Was it right
lesson.
after, or was it like she went back over there at a later date and banged him?
Um, Let me
Because
see.
either way, it's funny. This dude must be laying like the most
Oh no,
incredible
he gave
pipe.
after he nailed after he hit her in the game, then he gave her a piggyback ride um, up to his bedroom,
Is
and then
this true?
yeah,
That's amazing.
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. I
you
missed
weren't.
that game. I was at the first game, but I wasn't at that one.
Oh no, I think the idea of him just giving her a piggyback ride is also.
It's awesome.
I mean, that should be in the combine. Like if you can give this woman a piggyback ride.
Yeah, plus size model. There was a
Yeah,
plus size model on The Bachelor too, but she didn't.
she
She
didn't
didn't
make
last
it.
long. No.
She didn't make it. Plus size. All right. Yeah. So I just thought that was an update in that lawsuit you guys might want to know about.
I did that one. I appreciate because that was one of my favorite stories. I'm
It
glad
was
it's crazy that like she was still trying to sue him.
a hell of a story. I have a great, the details are a little iffy on this one, but Trump is talking about closing some loophole in sports owners, sports ownership, a tax loophole that would cost them like millions of dollars in taxes, which is very funny because a lot of people think it's just sort of revenge for the original.
For him not getting an NFL team.
Uh, yes, exactly.
I believe it. I mean, if
Yeah.
anyone holds a grudge, it's fucking old
Oh yeah,
DT.
40-year grudge.
I don't think he's ever forgot a fucking thing bad that's ever happened to him. The hands of somebody else.
The biggest mistake Donald Trump ever made was trying to compete with the NFL, like trying to move the USFL to the
Yeah.
fall.
No,
Yep.
they were doing great. And he
Yep,
moved them and it was over. All right, you guys want some NBA news?
sure.
Lay it on me, baby.
Maddie, you don't sound excited.
I'm not a big NBA guy.
Was there a time when Maddie
I
actually
try
followed
to
the
watch
NBA?
it. I'll watch the playoffs, but I'll try to watch it. I'm more college, but
Yeah. I mean, I mostly just watch players and maybe if there's an
yeah.
exciting team on the rise. I like watching people like Oklahoma and Houston
I'm with
and
Maddie.
players.
I watched the playoffs. That's about it.
But we
Yeah.
do have Jimmy Butler moving to Golden State
Hmm.
in what should probably be the last hurrah for him and for Steph.
It probably should be, right? Kind of has to
Well,
be.
Steph's in shape. I mean, he's like turning 36. Butler's like
Yeah, I
36,
can't really
37.
comment because I don't even know what the record is.
Well,
You can
Golden
go up.
State was doing really good this year, and then they had some injuries, so they're trying but I mean, Steph can still play. Jimmy can play in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be enough. There's too many other good teams out there, but I don't know. We'll see.
They're in 10th
They
place.
just need to be able to make the playoffs, and then playoff Jimmy
They're a
Butler can
game
come
over
in, can walk in.
500.
Yeah.
That's not very good.
No, they're not doing good this year. So we'll see if this boosts them and puts
The
them in.
Lakers are doing good though. The Lakers are good.
Yeah. So, like Anthony Davis, his first game
Got
with
hurt
the
already.
Mavs was tearing it up
Who
like
saw that coming? Then he got an
26
injury.
points, a bunch of boards, assists, and then left the game with a lower body injury. And now
I think
people are getting kicked out of Dallas's arena for yelling "Fire Nico." I saw Mark Cuban yelling at a fan, telling him to shut up and sit the fuck down when he was saying "Fire Nico." This seems like the very un-Cuban thing to do.
well, they shouldn't have traded fucking their franchise guy. It's again, like I said, there's only about 6 or 7 franchise guys in the NBA, and you can draft number 1 or 2, and you might not hit one. You can draft number 6 and hit one, but you just don't trade him. It's like getting Jalen Daniels and then trading him at 25. It makes no sense.
Well, here's my problem with Mark Cuban is he doesn't even running the team. He sold out. He
I
sold
know. So
the
shut up.
majority to the fucking
The
sleazy
fans have every
Adelsons.
right to be pissed.
Yep.
And it's just like, no, I want to see people going after Cuban. He he helped build this franchise into what it is, and now he just kind of sold out and is sort of washing his hands of it. It's like, fuck you, dude. You got all this loyalty, and then you just gave out to the highest bidder, and that was it.
Screw
But
him.
Literally
also, I
sold
haven't.
out.
Yeah. Also,
Screw him. And
this major
screw
league
Shark Tank.
scenario though. This major league scenario of conspiracy
I'll be
of
right back.
the Mavericks dumping to then eventually wash their hands of Dallas and move to Las Vegas. That theory is picking up a lot of steam.
I said it.
Online.
I said
You
it.
did.
I mentioned it. Breaking sports hole news.
It sounded pretty far fetched to me, but now I'm like, maybe not so bad. Because it doesn't make any sense. But if you can fucking alienate your fans this much, and you can just go to the league like, look, we're not getting any attendance here. We need to move.
Yep.
Then you can do it.
And she loves Vegas. Like I don't know, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
It makes a lot of sense.
It's insanely very possible now at this point.
I feel like it's crazy to me that it feels like roster moves and trades and stuff that's not basketball is the most exciting part of the NBA.
Yeah, NBA gets all of those moves they're much more impactful, They're
Also true.
Much smaller teams. You can make a bigger impact with just one or two people moving moving to a new team. So no. All right, guys, that's all I got for this week. Do you got anything you want to discuss?
I love you guys. I gotta go celebrate my sister's birthday. I'll put on a nice clean shirt, so there's that. But next week we'll cover Dark Side of the Ring's coming back, and there'll be a lot
we might
of
have to find
football
some
games.
movies to watch in between.
Yeah.
UFL's coming up, boys.
All right.
Love you, boys.
We're like
All right, we'll see you,
45 days
Maddie.
away from my
All right.
league.
Jim, was
Should've
there anything
started
you
this
wanted
weekend.
to cover before we sneak out of here?
Nah, because I gotta run.
No, you can go, Maddie.
I love you guys.
Tell Jessica happy birthday.
You got it. I will.
Jim and Luke.
All right, I'll see you soon, boys.
Okay. See you.
I'm just still upset about my first touchdown not cashing. That
does suck. How much would he have won?
Like $400, $500. Would have been nice. On like $6 or something. It was great. I'm just tired of these. Like, I want a game that I watch, like a championship game, to not be a blowout. Like Ohio State, Notre Dame, blowout. Yeah. Super Bowl, blowout. The last UFL championship I watched, blowout. Like, I want some exciting games to end the season.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're kind of fucked. Or maybe you just start following more sports, get more into hockey.
The CFL was a blowout. It was a blowout. The CFL even last year was a blowout. So just every football league I followed.
Baseball was a blowout. Baseball was a blowout.
Disgusting.
It is disgusting. But isn't it the journey and the friends we made along the way that's the most important?
That is what we say most of the part, especially for me in college football. Like the regular season, even with like its lowered importance, as a lot of people say, still vastly the most entertaining product I watch. Is like the college football regular season is the dumbness, the awesome, like the close games, especially for someone like me that follows like the MAC, the G5, all that shit. It's great.
No, and the rivalries still matter because, Michigan had a shit season, but
you can't legislate out hate.
You can't.
I don't care what college football tries to do. You can't get rid of the pure hate.
Yeah, that's why putting end racism in the end zones will never work. You'll never get rid of hate.
Damn right. I got nothing else though.
You got nothing else? All right.
This is a short week. I mean, it's the post Super Bowl week. What do they want?
I know we're all hungover. I still have heartburn.
I had to go to work today, which sucked, and Monday. That shit sucked.
You got to go. I've had a 4-day weekend. This was fantastic for me.
I would have loved to have President's Day off. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, take care. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole.
Bye.